You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
There is a lot of drama going on right now, and we know that. But Odessa, more importantly, more than anything, Odessa needs a win.
Odessa College has a bond on the ballot this November. We're explaining what OC is going to use the money for and how it affects the taxpayer. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on YouTube. I'm Laura Munt, and we start tonight with some election headlines. The Midland County Elections Administrator is clarifying a boundary for over 3,000 voters, specifically those voters that live in the city of Odessa, but they also live in Midland County. That's in the eastern part of the city. If you're in that area, you cannot early vote at an Ector County polling location. You have to vote in a Midland County polling location at a Midland County early voting location. And that's because you live in the Odessa city limits. You'll be able to vote in the city of Odessa elections, but it must be done at a Midland County polling location. On Election Day, November 5th, you'll be able to vote at the Odessa Country Club. I've been clarifying one more time. If you want to early vote and you live in the city of Odessa, but also Midland County, you must early vote at a Midland County location. We've got a list of all those locations up on our website, firstalert7.com. Speaking of election news, there's a pretty big item on the ballot for lots of Odessans. It's a $35 million bond proposal for Odessa College. That bond would fund major projects, including the renovation of the sports center, a frequently used facility, and expansion of the child care center. Odessa College also plans to build a new workforce training facility on campus, something that college leaders say is crucial to meet the needs of the growing community.
It's going to cost us. We know that it's additional tax dollars for all of us. I think sometimes the community members forget that not only are we asking them, and we know that's a big deal, but we're also asking us. We have to pay our share as well. And so we respect what we're asking for. We appreciate what we're asking, and we know it's important. We know it's a big deal, but I think it's worth it.
Now, if this bond passes, property taxes for the average homeowner would increase by about $15 a month. College officials say that this is a necessary investment to keep the campus competitive and continue to provide quality education to students who can then give back to the community. Some new details for you now on the death of a Midland County resident who died from the West Nile virus. This is the county's first death from the virus in the last decade. August and September typically see the most humans contracting this virus, which is spread by mosquito bites after the bug feeds on an infected bird. And it cannot be spread person to person. 80% of people that are infected show no symptoms, while the Midlander that died has not been identified. Midland health officials confirmed that this is not the same person that contracted the virus in August.
So most of the people that do develop severe illness and die do have underlying health conditions or are immunocompromised in some way. I won't speak to this patient specifically just for privacy reasons, but in most situations where patients die, they do have underlying health conditions.
The Health Services Department will continue to monitor mosquitoes through November, and we've got a list of symptoms to watch out for and prevention tips up on our website, firstalert7.com. Let's take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller. Now, Tom, I've been gone for a little while up on the East Coast where it feels like fall and it looks like fall. That doesn't seem to be the case here in the Permian Basin. Is that going to change anytime soon?
Yes, it is. We saw temperatures today at 90 degrees, if you can believe it. So welcome back, Lauren. And the temperatures tomorrow, though, are going to be cooling off a little bit thanks to a cool front arriving. Now, we did have a couple of showers out there a little bit earlier in those mountain areas around Alpine. That has all died out with the sun setting out there. But look at the temperatures again, 90 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, 91 in Odessa, 92 in Midland. And to put it in perspective, we're only 2 degrees off the record high for today. And look at this, all the way up to 97 in Fort Stockton, about 101 down towards Rio Grande Village. We're seeing quiet conditions, though, at the present time as temperatures are into the upper 70s to near 80 out there currently. So still on the warm side, but cooling off quite a bit thanks to the rain. 68 currently in Alpine. And those winds are still a little gusty out there, and it's going to stay that way for the early part of the evening hours as those temperatures will drop down into the lower 60s. But tomorrow, though, a cold front arriving first thing in the morning is going to bring us some help when it comes to temperatures. We'll talk more about that and the weekend here in a few minutes.
All right, so today's temperatures weren't quite fall-like, but you can still have some seasonal fun and, more importantly, free fun. Enjoy food trucks, face painting, and pictures with a scarecrow, and even some live performances at the Odessa Fall Festival. First Alert 7's Matthew Alvarez sat down with Odessa's recreational superintendent. Here's a look at part of that interview.
You know, I was looking at the schedule, the detailed schedule and the itinerary. It's jam-packed. Can you talk about the schedule?
We have the Odessa College dance team, the UTPB dance team coming out. We have a BMX pro team there for entertainment. And then the evening caps off with Small Town Band playing live.
Now all of that fun starts at 3 o'clock this Saturday. And like I said earlier, it's totally free. To see Matthew's full interview and more details on that event, go to our website, firstalert7.com. And of course, there's no better way to celebrate fall than with some Friday night lights. And tomorrow night, you can check out a pretty famous matchup, the Legacy Rebels and the Permian Panthers. They're ready to battle tomorrow, and First Alert 7's Jair Brooks Davis has more from Legacy head coach Clint Hartman and Permian head coach Jeff Ellison.
You know, we don't wear black around here. There's a reason. I'm sure Coach Ellison ain't wearing maroon this week.
It's a matchup that we all love here and is known across the country. It's one of the most popular rivalries in high school football. Midland Legacy versus Permian, two teams with similar traits and strong histories.
They're hard-nosed, we're hard-nosed. They can coach, we can coach. Our kids can play, they can play.
The history in between the two schools, so obviously that's talked about, and it means a lot to a lot of people in this area, so it's going to be a fun game Friday.
Legacy and Permian have had opposite starts in 2024. The Rebels are 2-5 and have had a tough start to the season, losing senior quarterback Jaden Rogers to a knee injury and playing a hard non-district schedule. It's been smoother sailing for Permian so far, undefeated with a 7-0 record, but when it comes to this game, the past doesn't matter anymore.
They play some very talented opponents, and I think with all teams in our district from week one till now that everybody's improved.
They found a way to win every game they play, so if that's the case, you got to find a way to beat a team that doesn't know how to lose, and that's hard. It wouldn't have mattered if the records were flipped. We always talk about getting your best shot. You're both of them going to get your best shot this week. We're going to give them our best, and they're going to give us their best.
For Clint Hartman, this game is always a dream come true.
A long time ago, a guy named Ray Benjamin took me to this game, Roger Stramler, and when I was in college, and heard one side saying Rebels, the other side saying their chant, and I went, how do I get here? So blessed. Every time you're coaching it, it's an opportunity, and pinch myself every day knowing that I get to coach in this game.
And if you don't know the lay of the land, I'll let Coach Hartman spell it out for you.
Every year this thing is marked. Every year both head coaches know what this is about. This is Texas A&M. This is Ohio State, Michigan. I mean, for this community, that's what this is.
Maroon versus Black, Midland versus Odessa, David versus Goliath. Who's ready for football?
In more games tomorrow, the Odessa Broncos will be on the road facing the Friendship Tigers. And there's not much in the run game for Friendship, but Bronco head coach Eric Hartman is ready for the connection between Holden Phillips and Leighton Stone.
We want to make sure we get pressure on the quarterback, and they have a number 7 player he's very good, and so gonna have to stop him because he does come in quarterback some and run the ball, and so just have to be more consistent defensively.
If you can't make it to the Friday games, check out firstalert7.com or download our app and get scores for all of our local games from the comfort of your very own home. Talk some education news now. Henderson Elementary School in MISD got 630 winter coats donated to its Operation Warm program. Civita's Resources delivered the coats to those students this morning. Operation Warm is a nationwide program that has provided over 3 million coats to children that need good winter weather clothing. Continuing to talk education, Midland ISD is looking to develop leadership skills, personal values, and a sense of community in all of their students, kindergarten through 12th grade, through an iLead program. This iLead program is a part of the Maxwell Leadership Foundation that delivers leadership development to schools and districts nationwide. The director of guidance and counseling for MISD says the program won't just improve leadership.
It's just a whole culture shift of driving the leadership, the communication, and in turn that's going to just benefit us with our STAR score, just all the way across academics.
MISD is working on giving parents an iLead lesson plan that also encourages them to engage with their student about what they're learning in that program. Speaking of leaders, UTBB's Shepherd Leadership Institute and Career Services put on a public leadership forum today. Representative Brooks Landgraf, Ector County Judge Dustin Fawcett, Midland Mayor Lori Blong, and ECISD Board President Chris Stanley, along with UTBB's Student Body President Chidum Joko, each spoke to students about different kinds of leadership qualities. Mayor Blong says that it's important to grow the next generation of leaders right here in West Texas and to have a vision.
Whether that is vision for your family or for your company or for the city. And so we're going to have the opportunity to talk through that, but also having vision for where you want to go as a leader individually. Some of these individuals that are attending today's forum are going to have the opportunity to think through that. Where would they like to be in 10, 20, 30 years, and how can they best contribute to our community?
Representative Landgraf added that leaders on all levels, small communities, regions, states, and federal, need to weigh the consequences of their decisions to make sure that they're serving their community.
Leadership is about the growth and development of others, and so that's one thing that I hope these students take away from it, and something that I try to instill in others is that the more that you pour into other people and improve their situation, improve their lives, the better leader that you are.
You can see more of what they said up on our website, firstalert7.com. We're over in Big Spring now, where the Big Spring YMCA broke ground on its new Teen and Youth Center. Members of the community spoke at the event, as well as youth who are a part of the YMCA. They all got a chance to dig up a little dirt for the groundbreaking. And take a look at this. A Midlander named Junior Castro took home the world title in the luxury category at the Lowrider Magazine Super Show in Las Vegas. Take a look. Castro has been competing in national car show competitions all over the United States, collecting trophies, winning 3 national car titles in a row. Castro says winning the world title in the luxury category is the biggest achievement of his lifelong career in cars.
It's been a dream to actually make it there. So finally, when we got there and we went to the awards and they called my name and my car was displayed up there, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I got emotional, but at the same time, it still, as of right now, hasn't sunk in. It's just another day, but happy to know that I did do it.
His car is known as the Scandalac, a name he says comes from his vision of building and remodeling new cars. And now that he's won his first world title, he says he wants to win at least 2 more and become a 3-peat champion and put his car at the Anaheim Museum. Coming up today, West Texans showed up and collected supplies for a truck that's heading to help with hurricane relief efforts. We'll talk more about it next. You're looking now inside of a West Texas food bank truck that was completely filled today as West Texans donated food, hygiene products, cleaning supplies, and more. That's all going to be donated to the Manna Food Bank in Asheville, North Carolina. The Manna Food Bank was completely destroyed by Hurricane Helene, leaving it unable to help the 16 counties that it serves. Some people in North Carolina are still without power and without access to the things collected in our supply drive. But thanks to you, they'll now have it. The truck full of supplies will be sorted into smaller kits to be distributed, and the West Texas Food Bank still needs your help in making those kits.
But we have an important day coming up, which is a volunteer food drive, put things together day. So we ask that you bring your families out and you come and put together emergency boxes so that we can sort and process all these amazing things that we're getting.
You can register to volunteer for some of these opportunities on the West Texas Food Bank website. And after those boxes are put together, a West Texas Food Bank truck driver is going to drive that truck all the way up to North Carolina.
Well, here in West Texas, we saw a hot one today for the food drive. The temperatures were up around 90 degrees, but we're going to get some relief from that. We'll talk about it up next.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we are going to be looking at some changes coming up in our forecast with a cold front first thing in the morning. We did have a couple of showers out there across the mountain areas today. Those have died out, and we're just looking at a quiet evening across most areas. As taking a look at the weather makers, high pressure is slid off to the west a little bit, and as that has happened, that ridge is going to be replaced by a little trough that's going to bring down that front, sweeping through overnight tonight, early into the morning hours, and a shot of some little fall air into our forecast. So better weather is ahead, and at least we're going to get out of the 90s. So some good news there. Across the state, things were pretty quiet for most areas, just the showers here across portions of West Texas. As you can see, most of the storms are up in the northern plains at the present time. This front starting to slide down in through the Texas Panhandle. We had a little dry line feature set up. That's kind of shoving back to the west, but still has that wind stirred up a little bit out there. High temperatures today across the state. Well, we saw 90 degrees, only 2 degrees off the record high out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport, 94 in Presidio. So you can really see with that ridge moving west, the hottest stuff was really across West Texas, but Austin got up to 90 degrees, as did Corpus Christi. Futurecast, I think we'll see a lot less in the way of clouds or showers coming up tomorrow for the mountain areas. Things look relatively dry. Just a few clouds drifting across, so it's going to be a great evening for area football games, as we're going to be looking at quiet conditions in our forecast. And this trend is going to continue into the weekend, so make those outdoor plans. We'll see temperatures stay nice and seasonable for Saturday, but then warm up a little bit more in the return of southerly winds coming up late in the weekend. So for tonight, we're going to still carry that south wind till the morning hours down into the upper 50s as that front starts to move in towards morning, and it's going to bring about a 10-degree temperature drop or more coming up tomorrow afternoon across the Permian Basin, so not looking all that bad for most areas. Your First Alert 7-10-day forecast does show another nice one Saturday before we warm up with the turn of those southerly winds again on Sunday, and breezy conditions in the forecast next week ahead of a stronger cold front that's going to bring a little bit of fall back to the forecast just in time for Halloween.
Up next here at 9, shocking video as a helicopter crashes into a radio tower in Houston. The story is next in your news across Texas. New video shows lights on a radio tower just before a helicopter crashed into it near Houston, killing 4. Officials have not yet released their names. Yugoki Iloka shows us the video.
This new video, you can see 2 lights flashing on the radio tower just moments before the helicopter rams into it around 7:51 p.m. Sunday. And then everything falls to the ground. A memorial site was created for the 4 people killed, including 1 child, in the crash. This is what the site looked like today. You can see security officers still here blocking it off, even though the road is reopened. One neighbor claims he was very close to at least 1 father and son who was on board that helicopter. He tells us he's devastated that they didn't make it and that he's known the dad for decades.
He was a very dear friend of us, part of the family. He used to gather all the family here in his house.
The neighbor we spoke to says he did not provide the video, but said his neighbor was flying in the helicopter near East Downtown Houston Sunday night, and he spoke to him earlier that day.
I saw him day before yesterday, probably hours before they left the house. Him and his son, they were here.
Still ahead, we're taking a look at some spooky fun across the pond. That's next when we come back. All right, Tom, Halloween has arrived in Dudley, England. It's where Europe's largest Halloween superstore is. Halloween House is what it's called, and it's open for its 6th year. Spanning over 8,000 square feet, the store in the Maryhill shopping complex is packed with a wide array of costumes, props, and animatronics. From detailed pumpkin light shades to decapitated heads, the store offers a wide range of items for those looking to celebrate the spooky season. But obviously England's a bit of a far trip from us. But the good news is we've got lots of fall Halloween activities going around here in West Texas.
And we got Spirit Halloween.
We do.
Okay, so you're set up there here in the U.S., okay, nearly in every large city. Anyway, though, the weather, well, we want some nice, cool weather for Halloween. We're going to get some tomorrow. Well, I wouldn't say cool, but at least it's going to be a little more like October out there with temperatures into the upper 70s. Next week, though, another strong front on the way. Wednesday may cool us off a little bit. At least we won't sweat in our Halloween costumes next Thursday.
I was going to say, that's the good thing. You don't have to wear a jacket over your Halloween costume.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us for First Alert News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.